everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Nerbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now today's video is going to feature the Mediterranean Bloom Suite. It is a suite that came out in the 2024 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, and I have been playing with it like crazy because this month, which is June 2024, I have an all-day crafting retreat on June 29th that I'm going to be playing with this bundle for half of the day with my attendees, and then also the Lily Pond Lane suite for the other half of the day. So my brain is just citrus, lemons, and oranges galore, and I'm excited to share one of my little brain babies with you. So I am curious though, before we get started, I'd love to hear in the comments which color scheme is your favorite. Do you like the boho blue with the lemon? Or do you like the Daffodil Delight with the clementine? So I'm curious. Put that in the comments. Even if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and comment later. And everyone who does comment at the end of the month, I'm going to put your name in for a draw for one of these sets of embellishments that this suite is famous for. So you can do that anytime this month, and your comment will count. Now, this suite, I'm going to show you the whole scheme of it. It's on page 34 and 35. You can see there is a really cute stamp set that complements the suite. I could have used that and used our blends to color the little lemons and or clementines, but I was playing with the designer series paper, which you are going to fall in love with. The die set complements part of the stamp set with the flowers and the oranges here, and then there's also some really cute frames. Make sure to watch more of my videos because I will be showing you a card using some of those later this month. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel yet, maybe now's a good time because then you'll get notified when I post a video and you are not going to miss this one here because it's so cute. There is also a set of embellishments that is really, really fun and beautiful. And then this paper. This paper is just the shining jewel of this entire suite. So I know even the catalog doesn't do it justice, and my little image here isn't doing it justice, but look how pretty they are. There's so many different designs. Most of the fronts have kind of a yellow and orange and green theme, and then the backs are all the navy and boho and balmy blue mix right in there. So we're going to get started on crafting. If you own this bundle, then you can create right along with me. If you do not, maybe it's going to be added to your wish list, or maybe you can just sub in and use something else from your collection. So I'm going to do the yellow version of this card, but make sure to come back and you can do the exact same things that I've shown you, just in blue, if you'd like to recreate that one here. I will just tell you the paper for the blue version is boho blue. I used boho blue ink in the background and the early espresso for the sentiment. So that's the only differences. I'm going to move that one out of the way here, and we're going to get crafting. Now I don't know, there we go. I don't know what's catching the eye of my camera right now because it doesn't seem to want to, oh, there we go. It was my coffee cup. Sorry, my coffee cup was too tall. Camera liked it. All right, we're gonna grab ourselves a piece of cardstock, and I chose Daffodil Delight because it is gorgeous and very yellow. So we're going to cut this at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've put a score mark here at 4 1/4 so that I can simply take my card and fold it right in half. If you have a bone folder on hand, that would be perfect to just give yourself a nice crisp line. Now for the background of my card, I'm going to do a little fun stamping. So you're going to want to make sure to have a scrap paper on hand. You don't want to get all of this ink on your desk here, okay? So I've got a scrap paper, and I'm going to choose just one of my backgrounds, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go with the largest one to make it easy, and I'm matching my ink to the cardstock in the back here. So I've got Daffodil Delight Ink and Daffodil Delight Cardstock. We're gonna stamp all over the back and stamp this right back here. You are barely seeing any of it, as you can tell on my card here, but it just does add a really nice perspective on your card. So you don't have to go the same way each time. Just turn your stamp and you can keep stamping all over. Oops. Oh, there we go. Just get a nice little background here. Okay, something to kind of take the focus off of just yellow. Now keep this guy handy, this ink and stamp, because we're going to also stamp this little circle. So this one came from our Stylish Shapes dies. This is the second largest of those circles, and we might as well stamp it since we've got everything out, including our scrap, and you've stamped in the Daffodil Delight right in the background. Do you see how beautiful that is? Like, I could just leave it like that. I don't even have to do anything else. But later on, I will come and do a little bit of sentiment stamping on that. But first, I want to lay it on the card and see how it looks. You're going to want to decide what sentiment you'd like to use and how it's turned. So don't do that part yet, okay? Leave this to the side. Now you have a little bit more to cut. For the inside of your card, you are going to put a piece of white in there. This will be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And if you'd like, you can do a little bit of stamping on this one. Surprise, surprise. So sorry, I shouldn't have moved this so quickly. I'm going to bring that white piece back. And I am going to add, once again with the Daffodil Delight, a little bit of a feature to my card. It's so pretty. I just love how easy this set is. You can sit here for hours or a few minutes and color in the images, but it just looks gorgeous simply stamping in a color too. Okay, so this guy, once you're happy with it, you could do more stamping if you want, but I'm content with that. You're going to put some flat adhesive, so tape or seal or glue, whatever you like. You're going to put that flat adhesive and add this to the inside. Now, I do often get asked, they're like, what tool are you using to poke those adhesives off? This is called our Take Your Pick tool. And if you're wondering why it looks different, I just took the putty end off because these both, they can remove and they're interchangeable. You can actually flip this over and have a spatula. The other side is putty, and you can add different tools there too. But I just find because I'm using this one so often as a piercing tool that I sometimes bump the putty end and then I end up wasting all of my putty because it kind of spins and my putty goes everywhere. So I just take it off. I keep it right beside in my little drawer here. And when I need it, I can add it on. But this one, you can tell, it gets well used. It's very scuffed, and they're really not that old. They're only a few years old. So that's what the tool is. There are attachments you can get for it, like a dye brush and extra putty refills, even a rotary attachment. So if you need any information on that, let me know. But I had that question sent to me, and I just wanted to make sure that I answered it for you. And this is the Take Your Pick tool. Okay, while you're on the inside of your card, I'm going to give you a little something that you could add if you want to and if you have them handy. So if you're like me, you get playing with these papers, you have lots and lots of big pieces that you're adding to cards, and then what you end up with is scraps that look like this. They're tiny, you're not quite sure what to do with them, they're not even long enough to give you a nice little border along one side or along the bottom. So what can you do? You can create a little accent with them. All you need to do is cut one end off at kind of a little angle and then glue it right on, and it looks like a fun little accent that you've done on purpose. So this piece, I'm not gonna say it has to be exactly these measurements. Mine happened to be 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. You can use any scrap you have. It could be a 1/2 inch piece. It could be a 1 inch piece. It can be longer. It could be a bit shorter. Just if you have pieces lying around of designer paper, don't throw them out. Add them to your envelopes, add them to the inside of your cards. They make fun little accents, and people will think you planned it, but really you're just recycling and being good with your products. There we go. So I just left that like 1/8 of an inch off the bottom of the white. I tried lining it up with the white at first, and I didn't really like how the blue kind of blended in. So it looks like washi tape. Remember when we had washi tape and you added that to everything? That's basically what this looks like. Okay, I'm gonna close this guy up, and I'm gonna put something heavy, pardon my block, so this card stays closed. It seems to want to keep popping open on me. And this one, I'm gonna give a nice crisp line too. Okay, for our card front, this is where you get to have a little bit of fun today. We're going to cut a piece of your beautiful designer series paper. This was the one that had both the clementines and the lemons mixed in. There's ones with just clementines and ones with just lemons, but this was a nice mix. And this will be 4 inches by 5 1/4 to start. And then you're gonna rip it. This is gonna be the card that you get to play with. You could even give this to your kid and tell them to sit there and rip the edge off, and it will look great, okay? The trick is just to get it started, and once you do, you're just gonna kind of work down that edge. The white will start to come out, and you're just gonna keep pulling this off. You can even, don't worry about it if you go into the card a little bit, if you've got kind of some mountains and valley looks, that's okay too. But we're just ripping this nicely along the edge of our project. See, it's so fun. You could just do one edge if you wanted to, but what's the fun in that? We're gonna keep going. And, oh, this is gonna be fun. Hold on. I already attached a little adhesive, which I probably shouldn't have. Let me take that off. Then it's not gonna rip. I was trying to be smart and ahead of the game. Nope. There we go. Don't add adhesive ahead of time. Okay. Doesn't have to be a straight line, just keep ripping it. You don't want to take away too much of the designer paper, but I've given you a measurement that you can stand to give some. Very satisfying. Distressed look is perfect with this paper. It just suits it so well. All right, now once you're happy with this, we're going to turn it over and add the rest of our adhesive. Just some flat adhesive to the back, okay? I'm just doing the perimeter roughly. Doesn't need to be lined up right to the edge. You just want it kind of there. You probably don't want it right at the edge. It won't look as natural. Okay, this goes right in the middle of your space. You'll have a nice yellow border all the way around. Somehow, hold on, why are you not focusing? Is that better? I don't know. Maybe my eyes are just tired. All right, here we go. Now on to our decorations. So I promised that we were going to take a look at this little tag here. So don't put any adhesive on it yet and don't attach it. Just set it down on your card and see how it looks once you add one of your cut out designer series pieces. So those dies that I mentioned earlier, they cut some of the orange pieces out of the paper. So you can cut out this single orange with the flowers and the leaves, and also the double orange. There are 2 sheets that you can fully use, and then there's also dies that cut out little flowers from the paper as well. So I didn't have to stamp any of these, they were just ready to go. Unfortunately, the lemons, they also give you lemon sheets, but there are no dies for them. So you have to fussy cut that one, which is the reason why I chose to do this version on camera as well. Then you don't have to watch me fussy cut. So I'm going to just lie this down here. We will be popping both of these up on dimensionals, but for now, I just want you to find how you're happy, because we all might have stamped our little image here differently. So figure out what you want showing. Do you want more flower? Do you want more orange? Pick and choose, rotate that, and then when you're ready, you can grab your early espresso ink and your sentiment. So I'm going to do "You're the best kind of person." I'm stamping this in the middle of the circle, but as far to the left as I can, because my leaves are going to cover over the right-hand side. Okay, now you can pop this up on dimensionals. It's going to go over towards the left-hand side of your card, just leaving you a tiny bit of that designer series paper border. Best kind of person. There we go. All right. Now this little guy here, here's where the fun begins. You don't want to put dimensionals all over it, because part of this orange is going to be covering your sentiment here. And so if you popped this part up, we'd have a very lopsided looking little orange, okay? And that's not very fun to have. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to just kind of line this up and see what the right-hand side of our orange is, which is these 2 leaves and our orange here. This space is where you can put dimensionals, and under this leaf here, we're going to put a little bit of tape, just adhesive, so that it sticks to the tag. Okay, so adhesive where we're going to be touching the tag, dimensionals under those leaves, so we don't have lopsided little die cuts here. There we go. So right hand side here, 3 or 4 little dimensionals. And then you can add it. There we go. Kind of blends right in, but once you pop it out on dimensionals, it does really make a difference. So out of that paper, I also cut myself 2 large and 2 small flowers. So I'm going to turn all 4 of those over and put dimensionals on the back of them. Again, just to add a little bit of diversity. We do have flowers both in this popped up image and the paper, but I find with the paper, you really notice the green and orange as opposed to the flowers. So we're gonna make them stand out. So I've got a large and a small. I'm gonna put that on the top here. 1 and 2. And a large and a small for the opposite bottom. Don't be afraid to cover over some of your designer series paper. It will look like you've got a nice natural scene then. Just maybe watch where, there we go, where this goes. You don't want it to cover all of the bottom of your words. Okay, we're not done yet because we have the gems to play with. Sorry, I put them down. These guys here. So I've got Night of Navy, kind of a yellow but very light, very translucent, and a clear. So it doesn't really matter which one I choose. I think for that one I did the navy. This one looks like I've got one extra little clear one, so I might as well use him. I'm just doing one. Sometimes you do things in threes, sometimes we're just adding a little bit of embellishment. And then last but not least, because I thought it was cute, we're gonna add a little bit of twine. I've cut myself just a little strip of twine from my scraps, and I'm making a bow. It's gonna be a very, very tiny bow. I don't want anything big. And the easiest way to attach bows, if you guys don't have these guys, you probably should. These are our glue dots. So you're going to just unroll it, and here's a glue dot right there, and stick your bow right on top of it while it's still on the roll. This is very uneven. Let me fix that. Then pick up the whole thing, bow, glue dot, and all, and stick it on. It's very similar to using a dot of real glue, but unlike real glue that I'd have to stop and let dry, this is ready to go right away. There we go. And there's your little card. So you can do this with any sort of designer series paper just by ripping it. They all have that nice white center, but I do really think it stands out with anything that has white already in the paper. And then there's your lemon version again as well. So yes, remember to comment and tell me which version is your favorite. And I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions or if there's anything that you want to see. But I look forward to seeing you guys again next Tuesday. And if you are in Canada and want information about that all-day retreat, let me know. I have registration spots open until June 20th, and I can ship those kits out anywhere in Canada. So let me know, and I look forward to crafting with you guys again soon. Bye.